You got me? All right, there you go. All right, for those who don't know me, I'm Luis from Jay's Brewing Supplies. We are a local homebrew shop in Manassas. So who we are a family-owned homebrew shop. So you will see me there every day, and on the weekends you may see Samantha unless she is out with the kids or I'm with the kids. Jay's Brewing has been around for 20 years. It is the longest standing homebrew shop in Northern Virginia. Let's see what else. So for me, I have been brewing for 10 years now, and I have graduated last year from the University of Richmond's Brewers program. And Samantha finally brewed her first beer last year. It was a smash beer of 2-row and Vista hops. But if you need to know anything about kombucha, go ahead and ask her. So homebrew shops and where we are going. So as of 2016, we peaked at 820 homebrew shops, and we have been declining since then. Either the homebrew shops have closed up, or they have transitioned into full breweries and left the homebrew shop community with no homebrew shop in the area. As of last year, I know of at least 6 homebrew shops that have closed. 2 have been local, and the other ones have been either shut down completely or bought out by one of the bigger companies. For example, Austin Homebrew and what's the other one? No, because Northern Brewer bought them out. Adventures in Homebrewing, yeah. So they've been bought out by Anheuser-Busch and Northern Brewer. And you're starting to see that more and more now. Anheuser-Busch, InBev. So InBev bought Adventures in Homebrewing and Austin Homebrew because they were, I didn't know, were owned by the same people. What was that? Nope, everything went right to InBev. So some of the trends that we are seeing in the home brewing community right now are your small batch brewing, so 1-gallon batches and 2-gallon batches. That's what everybody is trending to because space-wise. You know, they're living in apartments, townhouses, and that's what they have space for. Then we're starting to see more meads, seltzers are becoming popular, low-calorie NA beers are becoming more popular, and gluten-free beer. We don't see that as much here because there's no big production for it, for the gluten-free beers, because you do need your own space for that to be a full gluten-free beer facility. You need to be producing, milling, brewing, everything in its own space, not in mixture with your other grains. And then one of the issues that we're having as a homebrewers and homebrew shops is the cost of goods. You're starting to see, you know, the effects of COVID, inflation, and the war in Ukraine. Cost of goods are going up again. It's kind of stabilized lately, but we're starting to see it go up again. Maris Otter and Citra, very popular. You can ask Mark, he buys it up a lot. So one thing that I did notice lately was the owner of Spike Brewing was asking the community, how come, you know, they're not seeing a lot of revenue anymore. They're not seeing people buying new equipment, and it's because people, one, are getting out of home brewing. COVID is over, so nobody's buying equipment, and equipment lasts forever, especially the stainless steel. So you want a good deal? Facebook Marketplace. And that's it for my presentation. Anybody have any questions?
Tell us the story of how you bought Jay's Homebrewing.
So how we bought Jay's Homebrewing. I was in there one weekend and I saw the notice right at the bottom of the receipt. No, I saw it when I went in and I was like, is it really happening or is it not? So I reached out, well, I went back to Jay's because I had to go buy more things. And I asked Jill when she came out to drop off everything. And I was like, okay, you are selling. So I came back and I spoke to Samantha. We were looking at opening a brewery out in our area in Fauquier County. And her words were either you reach out to them or I will reach out to them for you. So I reached out to Jill and Thomas and they were like, okay, this is what we're looking for. Can you write us a quick blurb on why you want to buy the homebrew shop and why you have a passion for beer? And so I wrote them this long email and they were like, you're it then. One of the only concerns they had was they have 3 small children, we have 3 small children. How are we going to be able to function the homebrew shop in life, in our family? Luckily, we have Samantha's parents and my parents really close to the shop, about 10, 15 minutes away, and they help us out a lot with our kids.
And this is your full-time job, right?
This is my full-time job.
Would you do it again?
Yes, I would. Yeah. My mother-in-law just asked me that, and I was like, yes, I would do it again. Living the stressful life in IT, it was so worth leaving.
You can drink on the job.
I've seen him do it. I have videos.
My intake in beer has gone down. Ever since we bought the shop, I have brewed less because I don't have time, and I have started drinking less because I don't have time to brew. Any other questions?
What is the most complex order you've ever had?
Complex.
Or what is the most complex order you've ever had?
Complex porter. Order.
Somebody orders something. What's the most complex order?
That happens once a week. No, that wasn't as complex. We deal with one of the breweries and they bring in some complex orders. And it's not complex in ingredients, but it's complex on time. Because he wants certain things immediately. And then I have to start calling all our vendors, distributors, and how soon I can get everything in for him. What was that?
What's the most popular beer people have brewed that you see?
Most popular beer that people brew, IPAs. IPAs all across the board. Or I'm a new home brewer and I want to brew a lager. Yeah. Not necessarily all grain, but yeah. I want to brew a lager.
So there's a good question. What is the disparity of all grain to extract?
So like as far as flavor and color and just
What people buy.
Yeah, what do people buy?
people are buying more all grain right now. And we're pushing them more towards all grain, teaching them brew in a bag as quickly as we can at the shop. Because I'm on a budget, but I want to learn how to brew beer. Or I want to transition from all grain or from extract over to all grain.
Is that consistent, do you think, throughout the country? Because there's, my anecdotal would be, there's some Facebook groups, and the entry level is still very much extract.
It is, but they're starting to see the price point on all grain. And they buy one bag for brew in a bag, less than $10.
Especially if you're doing small batches.
And if you're doing small batches, yeah.
10 gallons out of that, or 20 gallons out of that.
Yeah. And jumping around from looking at homebrew stores, what they're doing, I'm starting to see some of them pulling back from either they're only carrying dry or they're only carrying liquid.
So what
We carry both still. We carry both.
So what's going on with grain prices?
They're high.
They're high. They're getting high, and I'm still trying to figure that out, why domestic grains are costing more. If I'm not seeing much of an issue with what's happening with us here locally or nationally. And I have brought up that question to some of our distributors. Why is our grain price going up, due to the war in Ukraine or inflation? Gas price? Gouging, yeah.
Prices going up everywhere. I
Yeah,
can make an extra buck, right? So bananas all of a sudden went from 99 cents to $1.50, right?
yeah.
I see all the other prices going up. I might as well raise mine a little bit too, because it's not the consumer is not going to feel that as much, right?
Yeah.
Everything's going up. Well, shit, I gotta pay more for grain too.
Yeah, I got to take advantage. Everybody's pricing everything up. I got to take advantage. I got to price it up too. Yeah, which gives me headaches at home because I'm like, I don't want to raise the prices, but I have to. Yes.
So, a question for you, Luis, is some of these like boutique malt companies, like these local, like Virginia, Maryland, Delaware malt companies that supply to breweries or distillers and stuff like that. Why are they not willing to sell to somebody like you or your store at a price point that you can sell to your customers? Because none of us are going to pay like $3.60 a bag for like some kind of unknown malt. But we would gladly support a local malt store and something that we could buy for it maybe why don't they want you having their stuff at the land?
So I can tell you that we have looked into local maltsters, and they will not budge on price. And I'm like, here are my numbers. This is how much I can push your product. No, we're going to stick to that number. And it got to the point where I have been considering it more and more. Bringing in the local maltster down from Charlottesville, Murphy and Root. But it's also on me, how do I get you all as home brewers to accept this new product? How do we approach it to you all? Like we did with Jasper Yeast. We spoke to them and brought it in, and we kind of, this is what we have, and we took White Labs away for a while. And then we did bring White Labs back, but at a smaller selection. But I know that I should be driving down to Murphy and Root in a couple of weeks, because I have 2 empty bins at the store, and I'm like, what do we do? And I was like, well, let's bring in the local grains. Started introducing people to it.
What's on the future horizon for Jay's Brewing?
Vacation.
Okay. Can you talk about it? If you can, that's fine. It's just like pictures.
No, we are looking to expand. We just haven't found the right place. One of the critiques that we get from people who are coming into the homebrew shop who have lived somewhere else, they're like, your homebrew shop is small. And I was like, yes, and I'm fully aware of that. I don't know if I want to make the drive all the way out here every day.
I'll run. I'm in IT.
We're just going to move it to my house and do online sales. Yep.
Where do you want to see homebrew go? What's the next thing? What do you want to push people for?
I want to see the homebrew clubs grow again. I want the competitions to come back. I feel like though that's a big missing piece of the community. Hence why we partnered with another homebrew club to do our first annual homebrew competition last year. And Now we're branching out to other homebrew clubs, and they're approaching us too. So I think that's our next focus will be growing the community more than where it is.
Should we start a Northern Virginia homebrew club like Maryland has, or Baltimore has, right? Maryland's got the Brewers Guild in Baltimore. So it's like 10 homebrew clubs, and they're very tightly knit. They do like games like that. There's a lot more. Like they all have their own club.
But then they come in together. That would be great, because I have been talking to Chris, who owns the Maryland Homebrew Shop, about doing a Virginia versus Maryland Homebrew Club competition. So we're working on that with her. We're trying to figure that out.
So is there any truth to the rumor that there's an artificial limitation of how many homebrew shops can be in a given area?
Not anymore.
Who did that? Who made that rule?
The distributors made that rule. I did ask about it, and they told me that that rule was lifted 2 years ago.
So anyone can have a homebrew shop anywhere they want.
Yes. You can start one in your basement.
I'd rather go to your place.
Thank you.
Tell us the story about what Star Sand told you about how the product is.
So what Star Sand told me about their product, if you leave it in your keg, it just converts to a simple sugar. And it doesn't really affect the flavor profile of your beer. Now, have I tested it? No, I have not yet.
It's already been done. We're experimenting. There's 20 of them out there.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
But it's done blind, three-way taste test. Never had a problem.
Yep.
I did too. And I use Santa Clean too. I use Santa Clean for sip.
I haven't used Santa Clean yet. I will be using it now.
If you sip, if you're clean in place, it is godsend. Because otherwise, you got foam.
I learned that. Yeah.
It's like being at the Blue Lagoon ice.
Question for you. When somebody comes in and says they want to brew pumpkin beer, how do you talk them out of it?
I don't. I actually found one of the Jay's recipes, and I'm like, here you go. And then they see it's 5 pounds of pumpkin, and they're like, never mind.
Not enough pumpkin.
No, not enough. Although pumpkin season's coming.
Ralph was excited.
Yes. Yeah. Anything else? All right. Well, thank you for your time.